I have been an outdoors channel for way too long to not have made my own cudgel. That's right, I love the word cudgel. Is it different to a club? I'm not sure. But this thing here that I'm making, first with my axe and then with the subject of this video, is going to be a batoning club. So I've been using a rubber mallet very uncoolly up until now. So you know what, and sometimes I do for real baton wood. When you've got thin wood that you need to make thinner, there isn't really a better way to deal with that. Like using an axe feels like you're killing an ant with a shotgun. You know, it's like thin wood into thinner wood is the job for batoning. Thicker wood, that's a job for YouTube, and that's to show you like knives doing stuff. So when people are watching your videos, you can change what they're seeing from time to time, do some sort of visually captivating stuff. So it's going to serve me well for both of those reasons, and arguably the second a little bit more. So yeah, just finishing up my little handle there. This is a piece of mallee redwood, so quite a hard and very knotted, twisted style of wood. I try and split a slightly wider one of these a little bit later on, and you'll see that it is not easygoing stuff. Just tidying up the cross section there with the Leatherman saw, and then just neatening up a couple of little bits, and there we have it. Looks like a fine cudgel to me there. So yeah, I mean, batoning is something that for a knife review is almost par for the course these days. The weird trend it is, I guess, took over and has kind of become a bit of a staple of people showing that, yeah, this knife won't break or fall apart when you do a slightly rough job to it, and it's a slightly rough job that's you can do in a controlled way that's fairly safe to do. I mean, people say that batoning is dangerous. I can't see how it is at all. I mean, sometimes you can, if you're clumsy, if you're stupid, you can hit your hand, which I certainly do as a stupid person every now and then. But yeah, it's a pretty good little visual indicator that a knife is tough. And if you're watching the screen right now, you can tell that this knife is tough. So this is that same wood, just trying to get through it. And you know what? I did get through it, but the camera failed on me, so we'll just have to show you an after shot. There you have it. So yeah, it's a very tough knife, the Yakari Puko. This is of course the 140 Yakari Puko, the slightly longer one. Yeah, this is one of those knives that kind of sits in that SRK territory of a really good affordable knife. Oh yeah, this is just me using an axe to show you that this is probably the proper way to do it if you want to do it quicker. Anyway, the Yakari Puko, that's what we're reviewing today. It's a great knife. You probably already know that. I thought you might want to see me revisit it because I did the shorter one, and now it's time to do the longer.
You got Alan's one too? Did you take Alan's too? You did. Oh, you're so mean. She got yours too, mate. Straight after all that wood splitting. It's tough still.
So I think the best part about this knife is that it is a pretty cost-effective slab of the very, very good 80 CRV2 steel. For an outdoor knife steel, for a knife that you're going to be putting through rough stuff, like for your car knife that you might be, cutting through a bit of plastic scrap underneath your mud guard after a fender bender or stuff like that, it's the best kind of steel. It's super tough. It sharpens up really, really easily. And overall, if you're after something that's not good, look, I put a mirror polish on there. Hello. If you're after something that's not 3V and you don't want to pay 3V money for a really tough knife steel, then I think that 80 CRV2 is the best. Unless you really need stainless, then you know what? Just get yourself some 420 HC. Seriously, if you're just after something like that, the Gerber Strong Arm will do you just fine as well. But for these cost-effective steels that are tough and hold a nice edge for a decent amount of time, 80 CRV2 is probably, it's definitely top 5 for me in terms of fixed blade steels. And that's including all of them. It's really, really good stuff. There's a reason that so many small makers use it. It's kind of got all those good things covered. We'd all love our knives edges to last forever, but it's probably the one real weakness of the stuff. But everything else about it, cost in terms of malleability, machinability, sharpenability, pretty good. Yeah, it's not going to be stainless, but I think we're all kind of expecting that these outdoorsy fixed blades generally aren't stainless because you sacrifice that stainlessness for the toughness. That's what often happens. And again, you want all things, then get yourself a Magna Cut fixed blade for 4 times as much. That's what you're looking at. So anyway, yeah, I gave this guy a Scandi Vex, because these guys come with like a Scandi primary bevel, like a Saber Scandi primary bevel. God, there's more genres of bevel than bloody metal genres these days. And I mean the music metal. Yeah, think about it. Yeah, so I put a Scandi Vex on that original edge because the original edge just wasn't super conductive to cutting. Really great tough from the factory edge, but I like it to slice a little bit better. And this Scandi Vex edge with a nice polish from that 5000 Kuramaku and then a leather strop really does, or did, or you know what? No, still does cut and slice really, really well. So take, for example, some raw chicken. So raw chicken, this is testing the immediate edge very, very well. It's not bothering the grind as much. So the grind isn't really a part of the cut of the raw chicken. You're basically making those nice meat slices. So this might be how it may perform against, in a hunting task or something like that. Nice, gliding through the meat there. No problems at all. In fact, this is a absolutely fine sort of camp kitchen outdoor sort of knife. You could do your whole fire building and then meal making with this knife. It's nice and long, so you've got that extra edge for spanning things. That's the best thing about the 140. It really does sort of cross most little logs and sticks and whatever. When you come to things that are a bit more crispy though, and this pepper is obviously fine, or capsicum, and this pepper, we call them peppers here, you probably call them chilies, is fine too. But when you move to like a carrot or something, when you move to a carrot, it's just a little bit too thick. It cracks the stuff apart. It does not make for the nicest, cleanest cuts. That being said, what I'm preparing here is a curry, and it's all just going in the one pot, and so we're going to go nice and soft, cooking over about 5 hours, so I'm not too bothered about that. Hey, I've even been known sometimes to grate my carrots, so I'm just fucking crazy like that. But anyway, yeah, so great knife, like all around. Just, it does every job like a 7 out of 10 sort of thing. So it does like its cutting, its basic cutting, its fine carving is fine as well. Like if you want to shave off some little bits of some fat wood or something to start your fire. The spine is kind of an offset, but you can strike a ferro rod as well with it if that is your bag, baby. And that being said, it's absolutely fine also to just use the original fire striker that comes with your ferro rod too. I know that's really uncool thing to say, but anyway, you just got a super overbuilt, well tough knife here that you can do all sorts of abuse to. Like check out this guy, Stone Cold Psycho right there, chucking it in the dishwasher, heavy setting, not just the fast 30 for this guy, and then pull it out for a really, really nice steamy finish. And obviously the knife is fine. It's, you'll rust your knife if you do that too often. That's just all the sap kind of congealed on there. Of course, if you really want to clean your knife, just soap and a dish scrubber. No problems at all. Just make sure you dry it off afterwards and you're golden. Now, another way you can maintain this knife is by using something like this belted work sharp Ken Onion system. Once you've got your Scandi Vex on, or if you want to put a Scandi Vex on, these loose belts here, they're sort of like kind of saggy. They do a really good job of putting Scandi Vex style edges on these kind of knife grinds. The leather sheath is sold separately, or sold with if you pay a little bit more. It's got a button snap, which is mainly just to stop it from falling out. If it goes upside down, you can certainly overcome the button snap just by pulling the knife out of the sheath. So it's a good, nice leather sheath though. It's pretty quality, pretty basic, and it's exactly what you really need, isn't it? So overall, I would definitely recommend springing for the extra leather sheath as well. Most comparable knives to this in my collection right now, in terms of costs and everything, are probably the Cold Steel SRK, which it's my work bag at the moment, so I don't have it to show you, but I think we all know what an SRK looks like. You can get that in SK5 steel, which is a comparable steel to 80 CRV2. I don't find it holds an edge as long, but it's probably just a bee's sake tougher. And also the Gerber Strong Arm, which is going to be a stainless alternative with somewhat of a shorter blade. The Strong Arm is more comparable to the 110, but then it's going to be a bit longer than that. It's about between the two in blade length. Both of them, or all three of these examples, are sort of really tough, overmolded handled, saber ground, not particularly finesse focused knives that are just great for like car boot use, I guess survival use, just rugged use knives. that'll, all three of them are great choices, and none of them are really going to let you down. The Yakari Puko is definitely my favorite out of the three. I find the handle ergonomics are just a little bit nicer than especially the strong arm, which has got kind of a narrow handle. The strong arm feels a little bit more like a soldier's knife or something, a bit more. It pays homage to those combat tropes like the double guard here, just the aesthetic of it as well. But overall, it's a really tough, rugged little knife too. Just in my hand, not quite as comfortable as this guy here. And this guy just feels a little bit more rugged in terms of the handle rubber than the SRK handle rubber, which I have often found to around the lips and the extremities sort of start to come peeling off after a little while, especially after a couple of overstrikes with a wooden club or cudgel, so to speak. So yeah, out of the three knives, this is the one that I would choose. They're all going to be about the same price, roughly. They're all in pretty basic, but good for their purpose materials. And yeah, if you're after something in this, this range, this style of knife, then honestly look no further. These guys are great. All you're going to miss out on is that completely, overbuilt slab style handling. So say on this DBK knife here, they've just gone and popped 2 bits of handle on either side of the tang. That is, of course, the strongest way to make a knife, I suppose. Some people argue, though, that drilling through the steel makes it weaker, and this is in fact tougher, but that's kind of testing that I don't even have the mechanism to do back here at my house. So at any rate, I've never had any issue with the toughness of these knives, the SRK or the strong arm, and you can pretty much shop around for that difference in opinion of that, and you're going to probably find a little bit of a harder time anyway. So look, overall, I thought I'd do a nice quick little review. I had it sitting on my shelf. I did a test of it versus the SRK a while back. If you're interested in that, I think I looked at the steels versus each other. So check in on that video if you're keen. Just thought I'd wrap it up. It's got a presence in my collection. It's probably going to sit in the back of my Honda and be like the car knife. And yeah, just thought I'd revisit it, and I hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next film. Goodbye.